How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. There's something big happening for two different cryptos, and one is absolutely exploding with interest from large institutional investors. And it's not Bitcoin, it's not Ethereum, it's not Solana, it's not one that we talk about too much on the channel, but it is extremely bullish what I'm seeing right now. Now, I want to talk about that, talk about what's happening in the market, talk about some good things for Bitcoin coming up. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn that bell notification. I'll leave a link to BitGet underneath the video as well. I just made a video on their new BitGet wallet, so I'll put that on the end screen, that video, but I would definitely check that out. Get something like that ready for the next bull run. Also, there are other links underneath the video too. In case you want to see what I'm doing, you can check out the Patreon. Now, Bitcoin's looking pretty good. In the last 24 hours, it's up 1.3%. We're sitting right in that $35,000 range. We're just going in this upwards channel. It's beautiful. I've been able to play a lot of these swings, bouncing off the bottom, hitting that support, and then going right back up. Yesterday, I made a 60% or 56% increase on a long position there. Now, I also want to say there's a link down there to Margex too, in case you don't want to use KYC or use a VPN. You can check out that underneath the video. HSBC, one of the largest banks in the world, is going to launch a digital assets custody with Ripple-owned firm. So they announced that they plan to launch a digital asset custody service for their institutional clients. HSBC will work with Ripple-owned Metaco for its storage needs. According to a statement, HSBC expects the new service to go live in 2024. Now, let me scroll down here. They say we're seeing increasing demand for custody and fund administration of digital assets from asset managers and asset owners as this market continues to evolve. And this is pretty big. This is not just Bitcoin that we're talking about. We're talking about digital assets in general. So I think there's one thing that's pretty obvious is that a lot of institutional investors want to get allocations to cryptos, not just Bitcoin, but other small cryptos, other altcoins. And a lot of them can't do it for legal reasons. They can't hold their own keys. They can't buy something like Chainlink off the open market, off of Coinbase, and then self-custody, especially if you're looking at like a financial advising firm. How are they going to do that? So they go to a bank like HSBC and say, hey, we need this. So I think they're going to make probably a lot of money from this custody service. And you can see the need for it right now. I mean, take a look at this. This is something I just saw today. Grayscale Chainlink Trust. So very similar to GBTC, but with Chainlink, it's up 125%, now 120% in the past month. That is absolutely nuts. Now, Chainlink is up a good amount in the last month too. It's up, let's see here, it went from $7.30 up to $14. So almost 100%, but not quite. But yet, Chainlink Trust is up 120%. If we look year to date, Chainlink Trust has gone up 8x, 9x. Absolutely insane returns on Chainlink Trust. And we're not seeing even Chainlink go up that much. I mean, from the beginning of the year, it was $5, $6. So it's like up, again, 150% versus Chainlink Trust. So what does this tell you? People are willing to pay a premium to be in Chainlink. They want to buy Chainlink. We have this article yesterday, a couple days ago now. I think it was just updated, but it zoomed to over a 200% premium on demand for Chainlink. This is the Chainlink Trust. They say that they had about $12 per share of Chainlink. So it's trading at a significant premium. I mean, we're talking about almost a 4x premium. People are willing to pay now like a 300% premium instead of 200% just to get into Chainlink. And what is Chainlink? Well, I've talked about it before on the channel, but it's a cryptocurrency and technology platform that enables enterprises, non-blockchain enterprises, to securely connect to blockchain platforms. It is the middleman between smart contracts and external data. So it is a company that actually can provide real-world benefits and connect the blockchain to real companies. There's no oracle that is close to this size, and they're seeing a lot of revenue coming in. So This company is a real company that uses blockchain and has a token, and people want some exposure to that. So Chainlink has been going absolutely nuts recently. This is a position that I want to build out for the next bull run. Now, I've been waiting to go heavy into alts. I did talk about buying one recently, an altcoin that I feel really strongly about that could do really well. Definitely much smaller than Chainlink, actually like 100 times smaller. But Chainlink is one of those ones that I do want to add to at some point before the next bull run. And I actually am putting out a video this weekend where I don't include Chainlink, but I talk about some top cryptos to own for the next bull run. And I should include this in the next video because Chainlink has one of the best use cases out there, I think, as far as cryptos go. It went up to about $50 last bull run, topped out around the same time as a lot of other alts. And then, it's just been coming down. So it's down still 65% from the last all-time high. So definitely one that you want to put on your watch list for the next bull run. Now, another one that you might want to put on your watch list is Caspa. They hit an all-time high in the last day. They continue to hit all-time highs. And this is one of the few that's actually outperformed Bitcoin over the long term. I mean, if you look at the last 1 year, it's up 19x in the last year, up 1,750%. And they're trying to solve the blockchain trilemma problem. Now, this broke the top 40 cryptocurrencies. It's a $1.6 billion market cap. I will say that Caspa is a really interesting crypto. It's one that I added a little bit to, around 0.045, I believe it was, somewhere in here. Dipped down, and now it's up a significant amount. But I'd like to build it out more. I will say I don't always know what's driving Caspa. It seems like it has a really strong community, but I don't always see a ton of news. Like, they're not making huge partnerships. I don't see them hitting all-time records for usage, which they probably are, but I don't see a lot of data on Caspa. So it's one that I've always kept as a smaller position just because I want to see more information on it. But it is, I guess, a lot smaller than something like Chainlink or something than Solana. But it is still one of the top 40 cryptocurrencies. So definitely one that you want to keep on your radar because it has a strong community and the price action has been really solid. Now, something I thought was really interesting. We look at Bitcoin and yeah, there's some buying pressure right now, but I think that there's going to be so much more in the bull market. And something that I think a lot of people forget about is the fact that interest rates are about at their peak right now. And once we start lowering interest rates, people are going to make less and less on their money in long-term treasuries. They're going to make less on their money in savings accounts. And they're going to want to redistribute some of the money, just like we saw money flooding out of crypto and flooding out of higher volatility stocks when rates were going up because you could get a higher percent in your savings accounts or treasury yields or treasury bonds. We can see here in 8 months, the market is projecting that we actually fall down about 0.5% on the Fed rate. And that's by far the most likely outcome right now, according to the Fed rate monitor tool. So as money starts to flood out of savings accounts, treasuries, we're going to see it flying into crypto because it's about the same time that we're going to have the Bitcoin halving. We're going to get more and more people coming in. We're already seeing people flood into crypto. I'm getting more questions from people that don't hold crypto or maybe bought kind of like a closet buyer the last bull run and now they're willing to actually talk about it. I'm seeing more people want to know how to get their hands on Bitcoin. So I think that this is going to be extremely bullish and we're going to have the opposite effect that we did a year to 2 years ago. Something else that's a pretty interesting thought exercise. I don't believe everything in this post, but follow me here for a second. If BlackRock wants to match GBTC's Bitcoin under management, which is currently $22 billion, they would work on their clients currently managing $11 trillion and get them to inject another $25 billion. The problem is that if they do this, unlike other assets, the bull market multiples come into play. If Bank of America's research is correct, BlackRock getting their clients to inject just 0.2% of their AUM, which is, again, about $22 billion, could drive up the market cap $1 billion by $2.3 trillion, taking the price per coin to roughly $133K if they manage to get all $25 billion in without shaking the market price multiple from what is currently at, according to B of A. This would drive up the AUMs of GBTC to 74 billion with their 560K Bitcoin, at which point, assuming an average purchase price of 84K for BlackRock would only allow them to control 297,000 Bitcoin. Except the market dynamics will work nothing like this. There will be a huge spike in the HODL rate as soon as the ETF is approved. Spot trading will slow. Unfortunately, unlike fiat, you can't just print your way to a higher AUM. Now, I could finish this, but I think there are a couple things wrong about this. First of all, I don't think that BlackRock is necessarily going to try to match GBTC's Bitcoin under management. I don't think that that's some goal that they have in their head. I think they're just going to try to make as much money as they can for their clients and for themselves. And also, I don't think there's really 100 times multiple. So they say that if you put in 20 billion, it'll go up $2.3 trillion in market cap. I don't think that's anywhere close to the case. That'd be 100x multiple. I think it's closer to 20. That's what we've seen before from Tesla when they bought, a couple billion. Now, that being said, as you buy more, that multiple goes higher because there's less on exchanges, there's less to buy, and there are less people selling. So I could see that multiple getting higher from 20x, but it might be more like 30 or 40x. I could be wrong on that, but still, I think that this is an interesting thought exercise because they do have a good point. As more and more people want to get maybe certain numbers of Bitcoin, if some person wants to get 10 Bitcoin or 100 Bitcoin or 10,000 Bitcoin, or some entity wants to get that, it's going to push up the price. And as the spot ETF gets approved, it's going to be harder and harder to get your hands on Bitcoin. I think people don't realize how fast Bitcoin will go up. I mean, just a few weeks ago, Bitcoin moved like $2,000 in a few minutes. I remember that. It was like 31,000 or 32,000 that moved up to 33 or 34. I remember thinking, holy crap, is my app wrong? But it was right. And that move surprised me, a $2,000 move. But that will be nothing like the bull run. We'll see probably $5,000 moves, $10,000 moves really quickly. And people will want to hold. People will hold too long. And that, the people that do hold too long, that don't sell the top, does help the price continue to stay higher than it would be otherwise. Not everyone's going to time it perfectly. And there will be people that hold on forever. There will be people that lose their assets. There will be people that send to the wrong wallets. The supply continues to dwindle, and the amount of new Bitcoin will be cut in half because of the Bitcoin halving, and we'll have more supply than ever, or more demand than ever. Less supply and more demand. So it is something to pay attention to. It's an interesting asset in that way. Now, let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. You can check out the links again to BitGet underneath the video if you want to try out that wallet, or if you want to try out their platform, there's a link to that too. And if you want to trade without KYC, there's a link to Margex. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one.